Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the makeup that I would run and buy right now if I had to start my collection from zero. These products I'm about to list for you, I am truly dependent on. I feel like you guys are going to be surprised about some of my choices, especially when it comes to lip products and eye products. I saw Tati do a video very similar to this one recently and I totally wanted to recreate it. This video idea has been around for quite a long time. In fact, I could have sworn I had already made this video, but I hadn't. I had done something very similar with eyeshadow palettes only. So I'm definitely glad I hadn't because I can bring you this content today. Of course, if you're interested in any of the products I'm about to mention today, they are all listed and linked down in the description box of this video. When you shop my links, you help my channel. So please check out the description box for the links, or you can also shop for them on this little pill right here. If you're excited for today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. So let's get started with brow products. That is the first thing I always do, and I would definitely have to run out and buy two brow products. I need my Brow Freeze from Anastasia, which is this product right here. This is a clear gel that I use to lift my brows in order to get this feathery brow look. So I would definitely need to use my Brow Freeze. And then the second product I would need is a brow pencil, and I think the one I would probably pick up is this one right here from Benefit. This one might be a bit of a surprise. I was debating between this one and my Charlotte Tilbury one. Charlotte Tilbury one is cheaper in the long run because you do get the refills for $15, so that could have also been my pick. The reason I picked this one is because I'm not picking an eyebrow pen. I'm thinking the basics only, so if I could skip a few steps, I'm skipping them because I don't have any makeup right now. I'm trying to go get a full face of makeup, and maybe I don't need every step of my makeup routine right away. So one step that I could do without is an eyebrow pen, but if I'm skipping on the brow pen, I need to get a very pigmented brow pencil that I could feel confident skipping on a pen with, and so that for me is this one right here from Benefit, the Precisely My Brow. I have mine in shade number 5, and this one is super thin and it creates really nice little hair-like strokes. So I feel like with this pencil specifically, I could skip on the brow pen, and so this is the one that I chose, of course, with the Anastasia Brow Freeze, because I cannot not have this product. I feel like if you told me to pick only two products that I could have for makeup for the rest of my life, I would skip on everything and just have my two brow products. That is how important these are to me. By the way, I'm not taking makeup tools into consideration for this video, but if I were to be taking makeup tools into consideration for this video, I would definitely run to the REPHR website and buy me a whole bunch of REPHR brushes because I definitely need those in my collection. But I'm doing makeup only today. Somehow my brushes survived the theft. So back to makeup, let's go on with my primer that I would grab. And I thought about skipping primer as part of my routine. I was like, maybe I could just go in straight with foundation after my moisturizer. Sometimes I do that because you can prime your skin with your moisturizer and then just go on with foundation, but I don't know, I just felt like I needed to have this in my life. This is not only a primer, but it also provides me with a really fair amount of coverage on my skin, and this could be a product that I use without adding foundation on top as well. By the way, this is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm, and this is a pore diffusing primer that also has coverage. I have mine in shade 3, and so for every day, if I were not to be doing a full face of makeup, I could get away with just putting a bit of color corrector underneath my eyes, and this one all around my face in the places where I want to hide my redness a bit. And the coverage that this provides alone, plus the fact that it does hide my pores, would make me feel very confident for like an everyday makeup look, right? So this is primer slash my everyday type of product if I were to not be doing a full face of makeup, and so I had to include it in this video. The Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm is a must for me at this point. I love it. I feel like it complements all of the foundations I put on top of it, because the foundations have to work a lot less hard because I already have a nice layer of coverage on the skin, and I also feel like it does a fantastic job at hiding my pores. Like, I'm using all of my favorite products today, right? So you would expect the skin to be flawless, and as you can see, the skin is flawless. If you guys are used to seeing foundation reviews, or I'm trying to figure out if I like the foundation or not, if it's too drying or not, whether or not it shows my pores, you usually see a lot more texture in this area. But when I'm combining all of my favorite products that are my tried and true, that I have tested a lot throughout the years, then you can see that like things are poreless, things are flawless looking, and that is the reason that these are truly products that I believe in. Anyways, the Nessa Myrex Yummy Skin Balm, I would run and buy this one for sure. For foundation, the one I picked, I feel like you guys are going to be like, well, of course she picked that, because I'm always raving about this foundation, but I seriously considered not putting this foundation in this video. I'll tell you the ones that I am not putting in the video and why this one wins. So the first one I thought of was the Lancome Care and Glow foundation, because I love that foundation so much, and I feel like it has the perfect finish, the perfect amount of coverage, and it looks super natural and glowy on my skin. The reason I said I wouldn't do that one is because I have to combine two shades in order to be able to get my perfect shade, and if I am rushing just to get some makeup because I have zero makeup, then I don't want to be combining foundations, right? Then I thought the Chanel No. 1 foundation, but that one is like on the pricey side. It's like $70 some. I have to buy a lot of makeup all at once because I don't have any, right? And so maybe I don't want to spend $70 on a foundation. And so this next one is not only a really luxurious foundation and one that I love and that works on my skin amazingly, but also a foundation that goes on sale fairly often, right? I am talking about the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish foundation. This is what I'm wearing today, of course, and this foundation has a beautiful medium buildable coverage. It's super liquidy, super thin. It sinks right into the skin. It makes me feel flawless. I don't know if I look flawless to you, but I feel flawless, right? Plus, Pat McGrath has 30% off sales on her website often. In fact, there's one happening today, the day I'm filming this video. And so this would definitely be a foundation that I would be ordering right now because I need it. This is definitely one of my favorite foundations in my collection, and the first one that I would purchase if I had zero right now. By the way, the shade that I use in this is Light Medium 9, which is what I have on right now, but it is a bit darker than like my chest. You can see my chest is paler. I'm only saying that because I get asked what shade I am in this foundation all the time, and it is Light Medium 9, but it's not really my color. Like, it is definitely a bit darker than me, but I love it. Anyways, so this I would definitely be purchasing, and it would definitely be coming home with me immediately. Moving on to the under eyes, I have two products that I definitely need for my under eye area, and that is color corrector and concealer. I cannot skip on the color corrector because I do have purpley hues underneath my eyes, and it makes a world of a difference for me. And so I would definitely run out to buy my Charlotte Tilbury color corrector in No. 2 medium. Immediately, this product I use a teeny tiny bit of, just pat it with a brush underneath my eyes. It hides my dark circles, it brightens my complexion, and I love it because this is not a color corrector that bleeds through the concealer that you put on top. As you can see, it brings a lot of luminosity to my under eye area. Things look really nice and covered. Things look smooth, and so I absolutely love this product, and it is a must-have for me. I know it's a pretty penny, but I've had this for probably 8 months and I use it almost every day, and you can see that even though there's a little dent in there, I have a lot of product left. So this will probably last me a year or more using it on a daily basis because you need very little of it, and I absolutely love it. No surprises when it comes to concealer. My number one most favorite concealer ever, because it is the one that gives me the least texture when it comes to my under eyes, is the YSL Touche Eclat High Coverage Concealer. This concealer is extremely liquidy. It blends amazingly underneath my eyes. It gives a lot of luminosity to my under eye area, and my favorite thing that this concealer does for me is that it does not make my under eyes look crepey. I've been struggling with concealer for a while now because I have lines underneath my eyes and I'm not getting any younger, you know? Besides that, I also have dry skin, so a lot of concealers just look very dry and cakey underneath my eyes. And so the only concealer that I have truly found that solves all of those issues for me and looks totally normal underneath my eyes, and it doesn't age me. In my opinion, that concealer is still this one. I'm not saying that this combo is the most crease proof one, because I feel like there truly isn't such a thing. I probably have maybe a couple of little creases, you can see. I barely have any, and if I'm not pulling on my under eye, you can't even see them. So this right here is my perfect under eye concealer combo, and I love it. Like I was saying, if you have issues with dryness underneath your eyes, or your under eyes looking just textured and dry and crepey, then definitely grab this combo right here. I swear by it, and when I used to work as a makeup artist at Sephora and Nordstrom, I would put this combo on any client that I saw had texture underneath the eyes, and every time it looked amazing. I feel like my powder choice might be a bit of a surprise for you, maybe not, but the powder that I would pick if I had zero makeup right now would be this one from Laura Mercier. This is the Laura Mercier Rose Tone Up Powder. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it, and this powder is amazing. It's super thin, it doesn't make me look dry, it doesn't create texture, and I love that it is a loose brightening powder because I can brighten my under eyes with it, but if I wanted to set my whole entire face with it, I could also use it like that. So if I only had one powder to depend on, I would definitely go for this one. It is smoothing, it's brightening, it sets my concealer beautifully, it doesn't add any texture to my skin, it doesn't dry me out, it is just fantastic, and I highly recommend it. I love this powder so much. For me, this was love at first use. The moment I tried it, I was like, where have you been all my life? We have the brows on, we did the foundation, the concealer, we set everything with translucent powder, and we are going on to bronzer next. My favorite bronzer, and the one that I would definitely order first if I had zero makeup, is this one right here from M Cosmetics. This is the M Cosmetics Corselet Sculpting Bronzer in the shade Slip, which is the lighter shade that they offer, and I love this bronzer because it is a true multitasker for me and my complexion. This one doesn't only give me a nice bronzy look, but it also helps my face look a bit more sculpted because it has a cool tone to it that I really love. So this bronzer would definitely be the first thing I would buy over any like contour stick or any bronzer stick or any like other powder bronzer. This one right here would be the one that I would go for, because this is something that I can use every day and for any occasion. If I'm doing an everyday look, this is going to look amazing. If I'm doing something that is a bit more glam, kind of like what I'm wearing today, this is also going to look amazing. It builds up slowly, it blends out easily, and it has the perfect undertone to be a multitasking product for me, so I absolutely love it. I could also use that shade to put on the crease of my eye if I wanted to. It is amazing. So definitely don't sleep on this M Cosmetics bronzer. I highly recommend it. I think you guys are going to be a little surprised at my blush pick because it is a new blush, and it is from a brand that I really don't mention that much on my channel, but I really truly do love it, and it is very affordable. The thing with blush, if I were to completely run out of makeup, is I would need multiple color blushes, because I would need a blush for the days where I wanted to wear something a little bit more cool tone on my eyes, and then maybe I would need a peachier one for if I am going for a different type of look, right? And the new blushes from ColourPop are only $12, so I feel like I would get a couple of the blushes from ColourPop to make sure I had a bit of variety in my blush collection. Even if I was starting from zero, I would want more than one blush. That's definitely the only reasoning behind me doing this one over some of my other favorite blushes. Like, I thought of going for Charlotte Tilbury, but most of those are only shimmery. And then if I pick a shade, one shade of blush is not going to match everything, so I need multiple. But I don't want to get multiple of, let's say, my Gucci blushes, because those are very pricey. So if I'm starting from zero, maybe I don't want to spend that much money. So my resolution to my problem was going for a blush that was affordable, so that I wouldn't feel guilty by spending money on multiple shades of it. Anyways, besides the fact that these are very affordable, I really love the way that they perform and look on the cheeks. I feel like the fact that they have this matte finish to them and the powder is super thin almost makes these blushes have a bit of a blurring effect to them. And so I picked a couple of shades that I felt like I would be happy with. Why Hello is the one that you see right here in the front of my cheek, and this is a very pale, barely there, barely flushing type of a blush, which I absolutely love. Looks like that one. Then if I want a bit more intense of a pinky blush, but that is not too bright, I also picked the shade Sassy Pants, which is the one that's a bit more towards the back here, and this one is going to give my look a bit more intensity, but it's still in that cool toned rosy color story. And then the third and last one that I would need, I think, is the color Duxbury Drive, which is a peachy one in case I am going for a warmer type of look. I definitely change my blush depending on what I'm wearing on the eyes, and so I would need a few different options of blushes, and that is the reason that I would go for this ColourPop one. And then once I have a bit more money to expand my blush collection, then I would probably go for my Pat McGrath and Gucci blushes, because those are my favorite, you know? But as far as something affordable so that I don't feel guilty about spending money on multiple ones, the ColourPop ones are where it's at. Only lips and eyes left to discuss. Let's go ahead and talk about lips first. I need a lip liner and at least one other lip product, which I'll get into in a second. For lip liner, I was debating between Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude or Natasha from Natasha Denona, and I picked Natasha from Natasha Denona just because it is a bit darker, a bit more pigmented. I feel like I could intensify this one if I wanted to. Iconic Nude is just a light shade. This one I could go a bit more intense with. So if I had to have only one lip liner in my collection, I would do the Natasha Denona lip liner in the shade Natasha. It is of course what I'm wearing right now, and it is my favorite. I feel like it definitely complements my skin tone a lot, and it goes with a lot of different eye looks. It's a nice neutral shade. Literally not a negative thing I can say about this one. I would pick this one over all others in my collection. I'm pretty sure. If I had to start with just one lip liner, this one would be it. Then I could expand. When it comes to a lip product, I decided I wanted to get just one thing that would work for everything. So of course it had to be something that was lightweight, it had to be something that was shiny, it had to be something that had a little bit of color, something that would match my lip liner. And I picked something that I feel like you guys probably won't guess. This is the Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump from Tarte. The shade I chose was Cherry Blossom, which is what I have on right now. And this one not only combines well with the lip liner, but I feel like it would go with a whole lot of different tones that you could put on the skin. And the main thing I chose this one for was because products like this one are the perfect trifecta for me. They have shine like a gloss, they feel like a lip balm, and they have a little bit of color to them, so you can use them as your lipstick, especially if you combine it with a lip liner the way I did today. You can create beautiful lip looks with a product like this one, and it's just one thing that does three different things, if that makes sense. So that's why I chose the Juicy Lip Balm from Tarte as opposed to anything else in my collection to be my one lip product, because if I were to go for a lipstick, then it wouldn't be shiny. If I were to go for a gloss, then it wouldn't have any pigment. And if I went to go for a balm, maybe it wasn't shiny enough or it didn't have enough pigment. So this, I feel like, just is all-encompassing in a way, and so this is the one lip product I would run to get if I had no makeup right now. Lastly, we gotta get into eye products, and I love me some eyeliner in my waterline specifically. So the color I would choose if I didn't have any in my collection would be a brown, because a brown is dark enough that you can intensify things with, and it can make a look like this one really nice and smoky and sultry, and at the same time it's a neutral enough color that you can combine it with pretty much any eyeshadow color you might put on the eyelid, and it's going to look good. Like, you have a pink eye look, you can put a brown eyeliner on. Maybe it's not ideal, but it's not going to look bad. If you have a cool tone look, you can use a brown eyeliner. If you have a warm tone look, you can use a brown eyeliner. If you have an orangey look, you can use a brown eyeliner. You get it, right? So the one I chose is the Glossier #1 pencil in the shade Frame, which is a super pigmented, very creamy, neutral brown. This one is dark, it's creamy, it's rich, pigmented, and it wears for a very, very long time in the waterline of my eyes. So this would be the first eyeliner I would go and buy if I had no makeup. Plus, this is something that you can smudge on the top of your eye, or if you sharpen it, you could even get a nice wing going with it because it's super creamy and very, very pigmented. I absolutely love this product. For mascara, I considered Dark Star from Pat McGrath, but honestly, lately I've had a few issues with that mascara transferring on me a bit, which is so disappointing because it's been one of my favorite mascaras for so long. So I switched mascara gears and I'm going with something that is high-end, that I love. It's the mascara I'm wearing right now, which looks really good and that doesn't smudge. And that is the YSL Lash Clash mascara. This mascara has such a fun wand. The main thing for me is that it looks beautiful on my lashes, that it does not clump my lashes together at all whatsoever, and that it does not transfer. That was the main thing. Plus, it's not a waterproof mascara, so you can take it off easily. It's definitely a mascara that does it all for me, and so for that reason, this is the one that I would totally choose. Last but definitely not least, the one eyeshadow palette I would go and buy immediately if I had no makeup in my collection. I feel like you guys are going to be surprised about this one because I was myself. I, in my mind, was thinking, okay, so which Mothership palette from Pat McGrath would I have first? Because I thought a Mothership palette would be the first palette I would run and buy. And then I decided not to go for a Mothership palette because those only have 10 shades and I feel like I would want a palette that allows me to have different undertones as far as a bit warmer or a bit cooler tone in there, right? And none of my Mothership palettes have both cool tone and warm tone shades to the capacity that I would want them. Then my other requisite was it also needed to have a burgundy because I love burgundies on the outer corner, or like a purpley type of shade. And then the Mothership palettes that had a burgundy didn't have the different undertones that I was looking for in a palette. It also needed to have really nice sparkly shimmers and an inner corner color that I could use. So the palette that I went with, which surprised me because it's not Pat McGrath and it also isn't Natasha Denona. I was very close with a Natasha Denona palette, but then I decided for this one, the palette that I would grab first if I didn't have any makeup would be the Empowered palette from Huda Beauty. This palette's colors are just perfection, and I felt like everything that was a requirement for me when it came to an eyeshadow palette was in this one. This palette has cool tone matte shades right here that I could put on the crease of my eye. These are the colors that I have on the crease of my eye today. It has a black shade that I can deepen up things with. It has a couple of taupey colors, almost grayish looking, that I could use. It has the most perfect transition shade, this one right here, which is a nice neutral to cool tone shade that is perfect for the crease. But then at the same time, it also has these warm colors here. So if I wanted to go for a warmer look, this right here would be the colors that I would pick. It also has a burgundy. This burgundy here is perfection. And I know that the first palette I would needed to have all of these different options for me, right? Besides that, this palette has amazing, very sparkly shimmers. It's got gold, it's got champagne shades, it's got colors you can use on the inner corner of the eye. The shimmers are nice and intense, and so for all of those reasons, this right here is the palette that I chose as the first palette that I would grab if I didn't have any makeup right now, because I feel like I can use this palette for a lot of different occasions. I can have it very light looking, or I can make it very intense and sultry and sexy. I can have an all matte look or a very sparkly look with it. It definitely met all of the main requirements that I would have for my first palette. For example, vibrant, colorful shades is not a priority for me if I only had one palette in my collection. So this one obviously doesn't have any of those, but it has all of the neutral, nude, sultry, dark and light colors that I would need for my first or only palette to have. Now, while this is for sure the makeup that I would want to buy if I had to start my collection from zero, if you want to know the new products that have been coming out recently and I've been loving, then make sure to click on this video right here. Don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.